Welcome to Lessons Learned, a series where we share our biggest mistakes so you don't make the same ones. Today's lessons come from a time when I was a web developer, deploying a fix to a production system. So I was working on a fix on my laptop, and I upload it to a test system. And I verify that it works as expected. So then, following a run book, I then upload it to the production system. And again, I verify that it works as expected. So now I'm ready to move on to my next task, and I want to clean up. So I do what I think is a pretty reasonable command, rm-f, to remove my test files that I've been using. And inexplicably, I get a warning. It says, you don't have permission to do that. Okay. Well, this is where I made my big mistake. I switch to root user, and I go ahead and delete anyways with the same command. Well, moments later, the production system goes down. What I had done is I had clicked on the production window when I really thought that I was on the test system. And I thought that I was in some distant directory where in fact I was on the home directory of the production system. So I deleted that, and of course the system went down. The good news is, fortunate for me, is that we had more than one server. We had production 2, production 3, and so I took this one out of rotation and the production system came back up. So what lessons did I learn from that? Well, the first, of course, is that mirrors can save you a lot of embarrassment. And today we refer to that as a blue-green deployment, where you first deploy just a subset of your servers and then roll out to more and more servers as you become more comfortable that the change you made is in fact legitimate. And if there is a problem, you can roll it back very quickly and not affect a large swath of servers. But probably the more important lesson here is having role separation. Now, perhaps it was a question of convenience, maybe a little bit of laziness, is that at that time we tended to share passwords to some of these administrator accounts. And part of the reason we did that is that the administrator didn't necessarily want to be bothered with, apply this small change to me here, just give me that one password and I'll take care of it and then I'll be out of your way. But it would be a lot smarter to use some other mechanism. And at a minimum, for example, to use groups. So that way you don't have a root user, but you have a specific group of users that can do specific functionalities within certain sections of your production environment. But even better is having privileged access management. And we have a video on that in case you want to learn more. But the idea is that you eliminates the need to have root access for a developer at all, and instead provides a convenient way of being able to share some of these high-level functions with people of user, but having traceability. So with privileged access management, you can have a login that instead of being a direct login is going through a separate system that manages the passwords among multiple users for a shared user ID. Of course, that then eliminates root access. I would also argue that you really should limit sudo access because you might be tempted to do that as well, which is an idea where you can change to a root user for just one command. That's a little bit better, but still a developer should not be really having that level of authority. Really, the biggest lesson to come from this is that you need to automate your deployment. Now, in my case, I was using a runbook, but in retrospect, what would have been a lot smarter is to have a script that automatically deploys to production. It has all the appropriate logins that it needs to be able to do that. It can test to make sure that the changes have applied correctly and roll them back if it sees that some of the systems are failing. And then if you do that, you can hopefully avoid the embarrassment that I suffered.